Blessings and welcome to this presentation of music and message to express solidarity and raise the message of justice and equity for all. In this opportunity, we will have different expressions that come from different voices who, besides sharing their talent with us, will also speak from their own experience. I'm Pastor David Mateo, one of the pastors of United Church of Chapel Hill, and I'm here with Ingrid Smith. Hello, Ingrid. Welcome.
Hi, and welcome to you and also everyone else. A lot of people share tonight at United Chapel, but we're also very excited to be joined by Reverend Kenney II and others from Liberation Station, which is the home of the Underground Church in Durham. A special shout to everyone from Liberation Station and from Fisher Memorial who are out there and joining us tonight to enjoy this program together. Also, a big thank you to Jenny Anderson, our music director, who pulled all of this together behind the scenes. As David said, tonight's open mic is to give a kind of form and voice to what is in our hearts, and to be inspired to make good trouble, as the late John Lewis so often encouraged us. One way we can support the work for racial justice is to donate to our Spreading Justice initiative. This money supports the work of Liberation Station and also helps members of our church community who are most strongly affected by the ongoing pandemic to make sure they can keep paying for food, utilities, and other basic needs. If you'd like to make a donation, the link is in the comments. Thanks.
So let our hearts be prepared, and may the Spirit of God move among us. Enjoy it. We begin our evening with a prayer sung by Michelle Romero. She will be singing Carlos Mejia Godoy's Kyrie. This prayer asks for God's support of the downtrodden and those who struggle. Enjoy it.
Hi, I'm David Ballinger. Thank you to United Church of Chapel Hill for creating this racial justice open mic. Thanks also to Jenny and Katie for literally putting it together. And thanks for everyone in an audience I can't even see. A couple years ago, I learned about several lynchings that were carried out within days of each other at the same location, a prominent white Christian church. 100 years had passed since this happened, but I still felt lesser as a human being because of it. So I wrote a song in self-defense against the kind of evil that does this, and against the kind of silence that allows this. My song is called Bleached White Jesus.
Hey, Mr. Newspaper Reporter, welcome to our bleached white Jesus church. We're glad to know you, happy to show you how the bleaching works. You see that man up there? That black man hanging from that tree. He ain't no Jesus, we ain't no Roman soldiers, this ain't no cavalry. It's just that this white Christian church is where we done the deed, the church of bleached white Jesus. Yes, sir, Mr. Newspaper Reporter. Sometimes we like to leave them on display for everyone to witness the power of Jesus bleaching our demons away. You see that boy down there, them ashes turning back to dirt. He weren't no scapegoat, we weren't no pagan heathens, this weren't no hell on earth. It's just that us white Christians laughed as that black body burned at the church of bleached white Jesus. We ain't never seen the real man Jesus anywhere, but in pictures he looks like us with long hair. We ain't never shook his hand, we ain't never heard him preach, but our Savior's our favorite figure of speech. We've done been saved by the name of bleached white Jesus. We done been saved by the name of bleached white Jesus. Saved us men who tote the guns and make them coloreds run. Saved us men who hunt them down and spend 100 rounds. For our white women, our way of living, our freedom of religion. For our young'uns to keep on keeping on this here tradition. At the church of bleached white Jesus. Don't rush off now, Mr. Reporter. There's one more thing you should know. But you really gotta listen because it's hidden where folks don't wanna go. You hear them crows up there? Them two crows talking overhead. They ain't no omen of untold horror stories rising from the dead. It's just that they remind us whites of what's best left unsaid at the church of bleached white Jesus.
No
Thank you to Regina Gale for that performance of the beautiful spiritual. Our next song is also a spiritual, and it will be sung by a United Church member and East Chapel Hill High student, Micah Hughes. Swing Long, Sweet Chariot. His song, well loved all over the world, uses coded language, gleaned of Bible stories, and it calls for a chariot to take the singer home. Perhaps home refers to heaven, but more likely it refers to the safety and freedom of the North. Keeping this song alive today honors the memory of enslaved people and instills our resolve to fight the many injustices perpetrated by slavery and in the time since. Enjoy it.
Good evening. I'm Pastor Ian McPherson, one of the ministers at United Church of Chapel Hill. Our youth ministry mission statement reads in part that we as a congregation empower youth as leaders who act for equity and justice. Along the sidewalk of Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, our youth have been writing prophetic messages of lamentation, justice, and hope, with the rallying cry, masks on, fists raised, hearts open. May it be so. Amen.
Good evening. We're here at United Church. My name is Barbara Wildemuth, and I will be playing with Bob Brewer a duet by Douglas Townsend entitled Follow the Drinking Gourd. This duet is based on a song sung by enslaved people in the United States before the Civil War. The text of the chorus is, Follow the drinking gourd, for the old man is a-waitin' for to carry you to freedom if you follow the drinking gourd. The drinking gourd was another name for the Big Dipper constellation. Literally, the drinking gourd could be seen as a source of water, but enslaved people also knew that the reference to the constellation could be used to locate and navigate by the North Star, pointing the way to freedom in Canada or the North. With the words of this song, enslaved people sang about salvation and a drinking gourd, while their hearts were inspired toward hope and the road to freedom. knowing God would be with them.
Hi, my name is Faulkner Fox, and I'm a writer and activist from Durham. Thank you so much for inviting me to be part of the open mic. What I'm going to show today is a scene from a play in progress. The play is called Horse, a Richmond Story, and it's the story of some sensitive young people who are trying to make sense of the world during the Trump era. And the scene that you're going to see is when they first meet each other at a party in Richmond in late September 2016. So right before the election and right before there begins to be a lot of hate-filled rhetoric in the public arena in the United States. But prior to Donald Trump's election, especially in Richmond, but also in Durham and Chapel Hill, there are Confederate statues all along the streets. And so that, in my mind, is also hate-filled rhetoric, hate-filled art. So the statues are always in the background of the action of this play, to kind of try to remind the audience that that legacy of American slavery is in the background of any conversation between any people, and it's just there like a long shadow. So I'm going to let you guys see this scene. Thank you so much. Act 3, Scene 1. Time, 11 p.m., Saturday, September 24th, 2016. Place, a house in the Chamberlain neighborhood, Richmond, Virginia. When the scene opens, The horse statue has been rolled back and a Confederate cap is on the ground by the horse's foot. The lights open on a high school party. And You Be Loved by Damon Marley plays. Everybody is dancing. Mary Fitzhugh is far from Devon. She's watching him, he's watching her. A white actor is dressed like a preppy, including topsiders. He's also dancing far from Mary Fitzhugh. Mary Fitzhugh, a 16-year-old 11th grader, wears an army jacket, combat boots, leggings with holes in them, and a black miniskirt. Devon, also a 16-year-old 11th grader, wears jeans and a t-shirt. When Bob Marley starts to sing, Devon abruptly backs out of the room. He sits on the curb outside the house, which should be in the shadow of the horse statue. He lights a joint and starts to smoke it. A white actor enters from stage left, puts the Confederate cap on, and climbs on the horse statue. Mary Fitzhugh sees the guy in topsiders and leaves the party abruptly. She goes outside, but doesn't see Devon at first. She's pacing, breathing heavy, shaking.
I'm not smoking because it's cool.
I don't think it's cool. I'm not saying it's uncool. Neutral. I think it's neutral. Fine. Mary Fitzhugh.
Devon, why haven't I seen you before?
I just transferred to Maggie Walker this year.
You moved?
No, I've been in Richmond since forever. I changed schools.
Aren't you inside the party? You should meet people if you're new.
Meeting you now. Why aren't you inside?
I asked you first.
Well, I saw something I can't stand.
What's that?
Boating shoes. Topsiders. They're ugly as shit. Who was that preppy dude? Why the fuck does a guy like that go to Maggie Walker?
I can see that you're a person who tries to avoid ugly shoes.
Funny. You're a funny guy, huh?
I try. You seen the show Atlanta?
No.
You should check it out. The writer, Donald Glover, Childish Gambino.
I know who he is.
He says white people watch Atlanta because they think it's cool that all the characters smoke weed, but they don't smoke because it's cool. They smoke because they have PTSD. Every black person in America has PTSD. That's what Glover says. I've only been in this country 2 years, but I understand that.
I don't think smoking weed is cool. Just is. You have PTSD?
Yep.
Me too. That's why I'm actually out here. Do you ever feel like we're in a war? That high school life in this country, life in Richmond, is a war?
Yeah, I feel that.
He holds the joint out again. She takes it, sits down beside him on the curb. Stage goes dark.
I am David Taylor, a member of the United Church of Chapel Hill. I painted We're Here and We're United based on a photograph by Dave Otto. It depicts the March to the First Moral Mondays protest at the North Carolina General Assembly in the spring of 2013, led by Reverend William Barber, with UCCH pastors Rick and Jill Edens and about a dozen leaders of the North Carolina NAACP. I added many other figures with undefined faces to represent the movement as it would grow. The police represent the power of the establishment to repress.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Glenna Batson, and this is called Just Dance. It's my interpretation of an embodiment Bill of Rights. I dedicate this to all prisoners of injustice everywhere. Enjoy. I have the right to exist, regardless of the color of my skin. I have the right to occupy space without suspicion of who I am. I have the right to breathe without the rope of tyranny around my neck. The right to move beyond the limits of my limbs and beyond these walls of confinement. I have the right to grow in a community of safety and love. I have the right to express my voice without surveillance. The right to rest in quiet without distraction. I have the right to enjoy all of life's textures. And to touch and be touched with reverence, kindness, and love. From the earth that grounds us to the skies and heavens that lift us, to our ancestors past, and to the beauty of all generations to come. These are my embodied rights, my offering to you in gratitude. Amen.
Thank you, Glenna, for that moving embodiment Bill of Rights. Next, we will hear a performance of an original song by Soteria Shepperson, recorded in one of her last live performances before coronavirus kept us apart from each other. Please enjoy Journey by Soteria.
I'm going to leave y'all with Journey. Is that all right? for joining me, my wonderful family, and my wonderful friends. Have an amazing night.
This is Carl W. Kinney II. I am the spiritual leader of Liberation Station, home of the Underground Church here in Durham, North Carolina. I want to read a piece that was written actually a couple years back. It was written after deep grappling with the absence of peace. I was sitting on the beach and just imagining what it would be like to be in a place where my dreams have been fulfilled. I call this piece Ocean. An ocean of pain stood between him and the possession of a miracle. Way over there on the other side of the escalating waves were those things hoped for. He couldn't see them from where he stood. No one could. He only felt the energy coming from a place near where the sun stood still over the water. He bent his head to pray as the sound of the waves inspired him to try again. The memory of all the broken promises hindered his spirit as he fought back the urge to cry again. Too many tears had soaked his feet as he waited for heavens to open as the eternal voice pronounced him blessed, like Jesus before the baptism, like Nat Turner before the beat of his heart steered a revolution. He stood still and waited for something to move him from the protective hand of the beach. He begged the word to come. He stood still, unable to part his heart to speak. One last deep breath was enough to calm his trembling body. He could only listen. The words locked in that troubled place were too many to share. No prayer there. No opening of the heavens to end this painful cycle. What must I do, God? His eyes closed now as the first words of the prayer formed from some unknown place. What must I do, God? What must I do, God? He could only whisper in fear the universe would take hold of his pain and make them his destiny. Could it be his words reformed him into a creature of chaos? With eyes closed, he prayed again, what must I do, God? What happened to the former self, equipped with boldness and faith? Were these the years the locusts ate after years of faithful living? What must I do? He whispered again. God was left out this time as a flood of memories broke free in tears. What must I do? No God, no prayer, only words with a question mark at the end. Things left undone washed his feet again. Things not spoken made it harder to get to the truth of his path. The large gap between him and the other side of the vast ocean made it harder to see those things hoped for on the other side. Sometimes it's a broken heart. Sometimes it's the loss of material worth. Sometimes it's the fear of the unknown. We all must stand on the ocean of our discontentment. We stand in that place unable to see the other side. We stand not knowing if there is anything there to see. Our faith holds us as we do our best to take one more step. One more, just one more step. What must I do, God? Stand still. Just stand still and listen to the waves as they beat against the shore. Find the voice within as tears baptize pain and nurture. Nature reminds you of the presence of an unseen truth. Somewhere over there is the answer. Somewhere within is the strength to endure.
Hello, this is Charles Bradshaw, and me and my friend Faye Paige, we were going to do a rendition of His Eyes on the Sparrow to help bring some awareness in a time of social unrest, to let us know that God is still in control.
My name is Yuri. I came to this country from Japan in 1984. When I first came to this country, I bought into the American dream. I wanted to succeed as a real American, but the real American did not look like me. It meant white, but I didn't recognize that. Although I tried very hard to be a real American, speak like one, act like one, it was not working. No one saw me, a real American, and I felt split inside of me. There were so many parts of me struggling inside. It was painful. One day I realized that I would never be a real American in the way I had envisioned. It turned my world upside down. When I realized I could never be white, I tried to figure out what I could be. In the black and white race relations in this country, I had a hard time finding my place. In Japan, I learned that we were yellow, but hardly anyone used that term here. I found blackness within me. The black community has been kind and listened to my stories, but black is not my true identity. I also found anti-blackness within me. It was ugly. I struggled with my gender identity too. I was born as a girl, but didn't like it. But was I a boy? Can I be in between or both? I couldn't talk about that with anybody. It was confusing and scary. I felt the power within me, but there was no sanctuary, a safe place to express myself. I felt blinded, silenced, and bound up by this American system of oppression. I felt a roaring tiger inside of me, but I tried to keep it quiet as long as I can. Finally, one day, I stomped on all my masks and ripped them apart. What came out under the masks was my anger. I wanted beautiful me to come out under the masks, but it was too early. I had to express my anger. I became Oni, which means a monster in Japanese. I didn't know what to do with my rage. What am I supposed to do with my rage? Today, I know that each one of these masks is a part of me. Angry, scared, confused, ugly, all of them. I am seeing the beauty in each one of them as I heal from my wounds. When I love all of who I am, I can begin to love all of who you are. When you love all of who you are, you can begin to love all of who I am. This is what justice looks like to me. Thank you for listening to my story. My name is Yuri Yamamoto. I am a minister at Liberation Station. I'm also a seminarian at Shaw University Divinity School. If you are interested in participating in expressive arts workshop using mask making or other techniques, please let me know. I would love to work with you.
Hi, this is Regina Gale. I wrote and presented this poem recently, which really is a reflection that we as Americans have so much to celebrate when we do it together. As Americans, we really are united as one. And I too am disturbed when I see so much disrespect for others. We are all so much more alike than we are different. America is home to each of us who call ourselves Americans. This poem is called My House Too. Benjamin Banneker built the first American ticking clock. Tick-tock, went the wooden clock. It is on his watch the plans did sprout. A free black man in charge, part of the team that surveyed the land to build the house that represents the land of the free, the home of the brave. Yes, he was free, and he was black, and he was smart, and he was brave. He had to be. He left a mark on history. He had a part of what became our nation's home, which was built by slaves who toiled to build the house we love. The house took a while to feel like it was all of America's house, or even my house. It took a while to feel I would be welcomed as a guest, not there to serve or clean or wait upon, but there to participate in the debate, in the things that make this country great, and accepted at my home, in the house that represents the land of the free for you and me. Martin had a dream, and we all dream too, that one day, black, white, yellow, red, and brown would stand together as one. Then the actions of many brave black, white, yellow, red, and brown found they could come together and work together to make our foundation strong. On November 2008, I cried with so many others when I saw with my own eyes a nation which I love become colorblind, a melting pot. The majority dared to stand together for change, refusing to believe the lies that stemmed from hate and bigotry. A nation who refused to participate in the negative debate about the lack of someone's pedigree or their family tree. A nation which stood behind a man who loved his wife, his family, his God. A man with principles not purely defined by black or white because he lives his life as black and white. A man committed to unite what was morally right. It was then that the house built by slaves to represent a nation of the land of the free, the home of the brave, made history when President Barack Obama walked through the door to his new house, the White House. I finally felt the freedom to feel like the White House was my house too. These are reflections by Regina Gale.
Hello, my name is Gillian Fields, and I'm on the music staff at United Church of Chapel Hill. The song that I will be singing is called Lift Every Voice and Sing. Lift Every Voice and Sing, also referred to as the Negro National Anthem, is a song that was written by a black poet named James Weldon Johnson in 1900. His brother, J. Rosamond Johnson, set the poem to music in 1905. The song is a prayer of thanksgiving for faithfulness and freedom. The NAACP, refer to the song as the Negro National Anthem for its power in voicing a cry for liberation and affirmation for African American people. Let us continue to raise our voices so that all people, regardless of race or nationality, will one day be acknowledged and accepted.
Hi, everybody. I'm here with Reverend Kinney of Liberation Station as we are bringing our open mic for racial justice event to a conclusion this evening. Wanted to take a minute or two to reflect on this with you, and I'm so grateful for Reverend Kenney being here with us tonight. We're all keeping our face masks on when we're in enclosed spaces and when we're around other people as a matter of safety. But for this conversation, we're going to take them off so that you can see our faces, and then we'll put them back on at the conclusion of the video. Is that okay with you, Carl? Great. Thank you again for coming together for the open mic for racial justice. I know that, I'm so grateful for everyone in United Church of Chapel Hill and in Liberation Station who have contributed music and poetry and their own art to make this such a beautiful evening together. For us to worship God, for us to remember the pain and the suffering that is associated with so much racial violence in our country today, and to recommit ourselves to the work of being an anti-racist people together. So thank you for coming together. The Spreading Justice Initiative, which we've been collecting for this evening, is a way for us to support our community and also to act out our commitments and our values for racial justice and for racial equity. So 20% of the contributions to the Spreading Justice Initiative are allocated by our Racial Justice Ministries Committee. And the Racial Justice Ministries Committee has been partnering with Liberation Station for us to grow in ministry together through this initiative. So we're really privileged tonight to have Reverend Kinney, who is the pastor of Liberation Station, with us. And I wanted to give you the opportunity to meet him in a deeper way, and for us to hear a bit more about who Liberation Station is and what they're all about.
It is such a joy to participate in this much needed conversation where our creativity can be exposed in ways to help us heal as a nation. Liberation Station was formed specifically to address increasing needs within communities like Durham, where social justice and advocacy is necessary to give space for people who are being marginalized, even by our institutions. We are really, really grateful to be a part of this effort right here, because it speaks to our heart's desire to be a community that supports LGBTQ people who are LGBTQ. It gives a space to support people who are brown, looking for safe places to worship, and creation of our Black Brown Coalition. This is a great place for us to bring our creativity.
Thank you so much. Would you just say a little bit, Reverend Kenney, about how your community has been touched by COVID-19?
Well, we've been touched by COVID-19 as many congregations have. It's hard to come together and be a worshiping community. We started without a place to worship, where we're in the process of creating a place to be gathering community. When COVID hits and forces us to go underground, we're also called the Underground Church.
Yeah.
And so in many ways we are definitely now underground, and finding ways to continue to be connected to each other has been problematic. One of the primary focuses coming soon will be the work that I'm doing with caregiving. My book has come out, My Daddy's Promises, Lessons Learned in Caregiving, which takes on new meaning with COVID. We have family members who are suffering from this pandemic. We're finding new ways, or having to find new ways to just be present with family members that we can't touch. So COVID has really impacted our communities, and it's impacted communities across the country. For those who don't have the resources readily available to make the adjustment into being a virtual community, it's been a real struggle. But I do believe there are lessons to be learned for us as a nation and for us as faith communities, as we're grappling with finding new meaning on what it means to be a faith community, what it means to be the church, Big C, in a time like this. We have racism and COVID all pulled together at the same time in ways I think is going to create a whole new way of thinking about what it means to be the people of God. And so we thank you and this incredible congregation for supporting our effort to be a liberation-minded congregation, one that wants to be open and available to all who are seeking safe space to worship freely and to be community consistent with the teachings of Jesus Christ.
Well, we want to thank you because you're helping us discover what it means to be a liberation-minded congregation. And I've learned a lot from you just over the past 6 months. You preached here back in January before COVID, and we have been hoping to find some new ways of growing together in our shared ministries. And so the Spreading Justice Initiative has become one expression of that. And we're thankful that you have been faithful to those efforts and that you've continued to contribute to our work and our mission here. We hope that our two churches can continue to to give glory to God and to serve Christ together.
Thank you. That'll be it.
Thank you so much, everybody. We're going to put our masks back on now, and we wish you the best. We'll be holding you in prayer.